Welcome everybody. My name is Ron Rich and I'm the CEO at Polytron. Today I am pleased to bring you insights from some of our experts on trends we see in manufacturing. Being hands-on across the manufacturing plant floor for almost 40 years, all while supporting the goals and strategic direction of our clients, gives us first-hand experience in the current and future trends happening throughout the food and beverage, CPG, chemical, and life sciences industries. We will also discuss how this past year has accelerated technology and what we anticipate in the future. We're going to start our discussion with smart manufacturing, industrial networks, and cybersecurity. Although smart manufacturing has been discussed for years, the demand for data from factory floor systems is today more critical than ever to enable real-time decision-making, increase visibility into the manufacturing operation, and the ability to close gaps in our data silos. Our clients want to unlock the power of data from their plant floor systems to expand their capabilities, which include analytics. They also want to improve efficiency and increase profitability. Larger data-driven initiatives call for the creation of connected environments with internal and external support models such as remote access. It is important for manufacturers to have reliable, secure networks to support these requirements. Let's hear more about the key trends that we're currently seeing and how this has changed over the past year.
I see two big trends right now. The first trend is remote connectivity is out the window. It's just to the moon. We've got people that can't fly, or we have people that are trying to save cost on travel, whatever it may be, that they're flexing the infrastructure to get remote connectivity for service technicians, for engineers, for you name it, into their environment, into their manufacturing environment. That uptick has stressed the manufacturing infrastructure, not only from a throughput, a bandwidth, but also from a security standpoint. So the big trend right now, one of the big trends is about getting remote connectivity into it. The second trend that we've seen is security, hardening up the infrastructure that they have now. They're starting to do we're doing some audits on security side of things, and there's no protocols in place to address security, to document what happens when they get a security threat. So you have kind of the best of both worlds, where you need this remote connectivity into your plant to get your support, but you want it to be secure. So I would say, let's start with the past 5 years. Connectivity. The trend is getting connected. No longer do you have really disparate systems. You move away from the physical, hardwired interlock systems that are communicating to now the more open platform where you want to segment these systems logically. And that's using virtual LANs so that you protect your network and things of that nature. So that was 5 years ago, and it's been moving to more and more connectivity these days now. Today, the big trend is you want that remote support. Not only does it save money on expenses and travel, you get instant gratification. If you have a network, a wireless network, the headsets that are out that have the camera lens on it, we use those actively all the time, whether we use them communicating with people overseas, in another country, another state. We can get on a real-time web meeting with that client and show them exactly what we're looking at. But we couldn't do that years ago. The technology for that glassware wasn't there, and the infrastructure wasn't there at the time. So as both have matured over the last 5 years, you're seeing the fruits of that labor, where that you can get secure vendor and OEM and engineering support into your plant. And now you have video technology that you can see real time in your plant. So that's some of the greatest trends right now.
We recently published a blog on the top 5 smart manufacturing solutions we see being deployed successfully and delivering value to manufacturers. These are: number 1, smart sensors to provide fast, cost-effective, real-time insights. Even though a more primitive version of smart sensors has been around for a while, the latest smart sensors offer drastically greater functionality at a much lower cost. These wireless and many times mesh-enabled sensors allow you to very quickly start collecting digital and analog signals from your production lines, even if you don't have a network or servers in place. This allows all manufacturers, regardless of size, to benefit from this technology. If you follow the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, a few sensors giving you real-time visibility into critical areas of your manufacturing can provide significant insights to drive manufacturing improvements. We are seeing and have deployed many of these smart sensor solutions for things such as overall equipment effectiveness or performance management, condition-based monitoring, and other solutions. Number 2 on our list, manufacturing operations management platforms, also known as MOM. So the true power of digital transformation will be derived when real-time data and insights are readily available from all of your manufacturing, distribution, and supply chain systems and are able to provide, and this is key, contextualized, actionable insights. As you start or continue your smart manufacturing journey and are solving short-term problems to drive productivity improvements, make sure to carefully consider technology and vendor selection that will also meet your long-term goals. Point solutions that solve an immediate problem, such as mentioned previously, OEE, paperless, quality, scoreboards, and so forth, may not provide you with the best long-term solution. This approach may leave you with many different technologies to manage, to maintain, to train on, and then to integrate across the different technologies you implemented. The newer modern manufacturing operations management platforms are now able to deliver much of this functionality in a single extensible platform with a common user interface, a common backend, common configuration, common training, etc. We have found that leveraging the right MOM platform simplifies tremendously the technology stack and therefore agility to deploy new functionality as manufacturers continue on this journey. Our number 3 item on the list is condition-based monitoring. So manufacturers are easing into predictive maintenance by capturing the so-called low-hanging fruit first, adding these wireless vibration sensors to critical assets such as motors, gearboxes, etc., that are deemed high risk of causing downtime is an easy way to start this journey. Though this has been in place for many years in heavy industries such as oil and gas, where the assets and the downtime are very costly, we are seeing a greater adoption of this solution in other lighter industries, such as food and beverage, consumer product goods, pharmaceuticals, and automotive. Our number 4 solution on the list is finite scheduling, also known as algorithmic production scheduling. So many manufacturers have a top-performing scheduler who knows how to best sequence the production orders to maximize throughput for their manufacturing lines. That's great, and of course scary when he or she is not there. What if you could capture his or her thought process along with your company's collective tribal knowledge and then took it to another level by using advanced algorithms to improve your scheduling optimization even further? That is what finite scheduling does. It looks at many different variables such as changeover requirements between products, inventory available, your assets that are available, your operators that are available, delivery commitments, historical and real-time data, and so forth. So basically all of your big data, and from that it determines the optimal production schedule and then provides that to the scheduler to optimize, move around, and so forth even further. Any solution that allows you to run your existing equipment more efficiently is very likely to have a very attractive return on investment, in many cases as low as a few months, because all you're doing is optimizing an existing capital investment. Our number 5 solution on the list is RFID. RFID is an interesting one because it's an example of a technology that has been around for a few decades, but is seeing a resurgence due to the lower cost and then the higher capability of the RFID tags and readers. So if you recall back in 2003, Walmart had issued an edict to manufacturers that every pallet sent to Walmart would have an RFID tag on it. Well, that didn't happen because it was too early in the life cycle of that technology. So if you're familiar with the Gartner hype cycle, many new technologies reach what's called the peak of inflated expectations before the technology is actually ready to deliver the promised productivity improvements. We have deployed over the last couple of years several RFID projects in manufacturing for inventory management, traceability, and supply chain integration, which all of these have delivered an ROI of less than a year. RFID is another great tool in our tool bag when we're developing these type of solutions, but like all things, must be applied appropriately. Barcodes and barcode readers in that solution are still of value in many situations.
In today's environment, worker safety and the health of the plant is crucial for productivity. It is a known fact that a safe production line is more efficient without unexpected downtime caused by safety incidents. In a climate of the ever-changing workforce, machine safety is a key factor in keeping your workers safe and your production high. Plant-wide machine safety programs are increasingly being implemented to support worker safety and sustainable production. How are you approaching machine safety in a time of workforce fluctuation?
The clients that we work with have, over the years, moved from a reactive approach to providing solutions or implementing safety to going to a more proactive approach to implementing safety on machinery before incidents happen. So as an example, recent or previous kind of state would be to react to an incident. So someone gets hurt on a machinery, loses a finger, gets hurt, or even a near miss on a machine. At that point, do we look at how, what happened? Let's do a risk assessment. Let's how to fix it and move forward and implement safety and then move forward. We're trying to get away from that, right? I mean, OSHA wants us to do or to create a safe work environment, ensure a safe work environment for everyone on the plant floor, and don't wait till somebody gets hurt to do something. We don't want anybody to get hurt. So to do that, we're moving towards a proactive phase. So when I say proactive, I mean implementing solutions, implementing safeguards, doing risk assessments on machinery ahead of time. When machines are being built, do risk assessments, understand the inherent safety issues with those, and provide solutions to mitigate those issues. And then when they're on the plant floor, if machineries are on the plant floor, not waiting again, reactive to someone gets hurt, but go ahead and do a risk assessment. Find those hazards, find those risks, and implement safety solutions to mitigate those risks so we don't have issues, we don't have people getting hurt in our plant floor. So the trends that we're seeing this year, a lot of it based on safety standards, but also with safety technology. So when we talk about safety standards, we see the trend being more of this, what we call the minor service exception, where it's not required to lock out, tag out a machine. So lock out, tag out, you're going to come in and you have to lock out a machine, have a lock it out, shut off the power, shut off the pneumatics, shut off any hazardous equipment, and then get into the machine. Now, that can be it's a procedure, it's required, but that doesn't always have to be the case when you're doing minor tasks such as jams, film, or changing out reusable equipment or materials inside a machine. You don't want to continually lock out, tag out because of the time consuming. So what we have now is a minor servicing exception where we can use that safety technology, safety controls, safety devices that allow us to unlock doors, be inside a machine with present sensing devices. We can always understand if someone's in a hazard zone or not in a hazard zone, and be able to keep the machine in a safe state while they're doing whatever task that is. And those tasks have to be laid out and properly identified. But then return out of the machine, start up, and it's back in production. So that trend has been going on for a while, but it's being pushed more and being adopted more, where lockout tagout has been the kind of the true and tried procedure to safeguard that machine and have no questions asked. But with our safety technology that we have nowadays, with, like I said, guard doors, monitoring feedback, presence senses with lasers, to understand, if we're doing a task, we're safe doing that task, and we can restart that machine. So that's one of the big trends that's been happening, been ongoing, and still currently going. And we see that because we're implementing more of that every day. Another trend that's going on currently too is, again, like I talked about, having faster production, faster and more efficient production lines. We're seeing safety also follow that trend when we come to installation and uptime with those devices by putting those on more of a network type of architecture, where previously in the past, all these devices are hardwired, I/O points throughout the system, PLC or other logic devices to monitor those. We're seeing those get pushed into more of a networked type of single wire architecture, where first it's very efficient to install, so low downtime to install, which everybody wants in their plant. They don't want any downtime in their plant. So whatever that can help us speed that process up, that's great. And so now we have more reliable communications that will allow us to network all our safety devices. So guard doors that were once individually wired to a safety I/O point inside of a control cabinet are now daisy-chained through a communication device that we get all the data, diagnostics, quickly and efficiently and safely. So out of the trends that we're implementing today, those seem to be both the minor servicing exception that's out in the standards that we can implement for quicker, more efficient access to the machine, as well as, again, safety technology with communications that allow us to implement machinery or implement safety upgrades to machine a lot quicker.
A common trend through these discussions is the need for greater efficiency and output to meet market demands. As production demands increase, manufacturers are focusing on automation and control system upgrades. Upgrades to out-of-date control systems and infrastructure will improve efficiency and improve your operational performance, which will help meet your business objectives. These include achieving your growth targets, remaining competitive, and gaining sustainability for your future growth. Included in this infrastructure is the upgrade and modernization of batch and recipe management for process systems. These upgrades typically focus on quality, agile production, reducing waste, and returning a greater ROI from your operation.
Trends this year are clearly focusing on delivering more infrastructure and allowing people to do more remote access. Clearly with the lack of travel or the minimization of travel, both within corporate and OEM supports, they're looking for people that can help them modify their manufacturing system to allow the safe and secure access to their automation for remote support. And startup and services even are being now addressed with in terms of augmented reality services, and those are other kinds of tools that allow people to do more with less travel. So I think the smart devices will start to become a bigger play in the future. I'm not sure how far that will go. I think at some point infrastructure will end up being the gateway, right? There's only so much you can get through any particular bandwidth that you're trying to manage, and you'll have to prioritize that bandwidth. So should a smart sensor necessarily have all the bandwidth, or should that operator with the terminal have the bandwidth? We'll be making more and more of those choices on the manufacturing floor as more and more technology comes. But the opportunity for smart devices provides a space where there's less time managed by that operator on the floor to go verify whether that component is working or not. You'll get the health status of drives, of pumps, of more complicated pieces of equipment, as opposed to having somebody maintain that or do a weekly PM on that. And that time was going to free up those people to do higher value activities. Very similar to automation and robotics. Robotics has been around for 20 years, and there's certain tasks with which it clearly is the best fit. And I think you'll see that line start to blend a little bit more towards some new tasks with which the robotics costs are going down, like most automation does over any particular period of time. And that'll allow more tasks to become more economically viable to replace robots, which will free up, again, more time for those operators and manufacturing personnel to focus on larger tasks and more complicated tasks. So for our clients, their automation needs vary widely. With the recent advent of COVID, we're seeing a lot of the larger clients have to deal with personnel issues that they haven't had to deal with before. And so everything from the minor task and that you would normally not expect to automate now becomes something that you would look at to automate because of the reliability of personnel and the change out and turnover of personnel. So that becomes a new challenge, and it's offering new opportunities for those kinds of customers that have a very automated system, but maybe are looking for more product to person, mobile robots, things that are going to eliminate some of the manual tasks they have in their existing automation manufacturing footprint to alleviate some of the reliability on personnel. Technology is always accelerating in manufacturing. They have always said that technology in manufacturing has generally been 5 or 10 years behind IT. And I believe that gap is probably still there, but it's nowhere near 5 or 10 years. It's now maybe 2 or 3 years. And I think we're going to see that a lot of the nuances that you see in IT and business, that from artificial intelligence to machine learning, the real-time application time to hit the plant floor is going to be in the order of 2 or 3 years. Some of them are already available today in spot circumstances, but the wide use is clearly not available today in a large sense until we get more deployments out there. And I think you'll see a lot of that will come to focus in certain industries that are adept and really a good fertile foreground for machine learning and AI. And they'll take a little bit while for some other industries in manufacturing to adopt some of that technology. But it's clearly coming, and there'll be a heavy need for infrastructure to support those technologies in that approach.
To help with the issue of the pandemic disruptions, clients have been looking to make their systems more versatile. So doing changeovers in packaging, and in a process being able to make multiple products in the same process system. If you have industrial users and you need to make industrial product, you can do that and then quickly be able to make retail product for retail users. Also, more companies are starting to use accelerometers and other sensors in their process equipment and packaging equipment and utilities so that they can measure when something is going to go bad, do predictive maintenance, and find out that a motor on an agitator is getting close to failing. And that way they can schedule to get the motor replaced before it actually breaks during production and causes several days of downtime that could have been avoided if they had fixed the motor ahead of time. And then also, as employees are aging and retiring, companies are losing knowledge that those retiring employees have. So many companies are starting to do more automation to try to replace the tribal knowledge they're losing with knowledge that can be captured, electronically stored, center-lined, and repeated.
With demand high and production running 24/7, manufacturers are seeking low-risk solutions and design validation before projects are implemented. This will deliver cost savings and faster startups. More manufacturers are including emulation and simulation in their process, automation and controls, and packaging and material handling projects to make better decisions. There is no margin for error. Emulation removes the guesswork and delivers an efficient, real-time approach for confident outcomes.
We have a couple of really good tools with simulation and emulation to help customers in the food and beverage and consumer product industries. Simulation is really good on the front end of your engineering process to make sure you're asking the right question and getting the right solution set for your problem. We have a variety of different simulation software that we use. We try to use the right tool for the right task. And on the opposite end, on the end of that project, the evaluation of whether you've achieved those project success or not, we use emulation tools. So we have a variety of emulation software as well. Emulation has really gotten to be a much better tool in the end to validate project return on investment and also provide a model for future changes into your system. For emulation, a lot of our customers are focusing on minimizing downtime in terms of their projects, and particularly any kind of obsolescent projects, replacement projects, where they're an existing facility that's running and they're trying to upgrade or replace components. Our emulation technology provides them a unique opportunity with which we can actually test in a virtual environment, side by side, all of the existing automation hardware and software, and give them a level of comfort that allows us to minimize that downtime as much as possible. So where you might consider doing a staged rollout across 3 months, running systems in parallel to do checkout, you can now have a higher confidence level having checked everything out in the virtual environment, that you can make that switch over a weekend and save lots of downtime, which is real dollars, and have a high confidence of startup and success.
Shifts in consumer demand and production consolidations over the past couple of years has added complexity and is driving upgrades in the packaging and material handling. More and more, we are seeing the market ask for personalized packaging, various sizing, and multi-format packaging solutions. This is driving change, which requires capital for expansion, new equipment, and end-of-line upgrades to meet market requirements.
So as far as in packaging, one of the challenges is being able to be flexible with the assets that clients currently have. So as the marketplace shifts, clients can't necessarily go out and put in brand new packaging systems to meet those demands. They have to be able to be agile and adapt with what they've got currently. So, being able to put in flexible packaging systems, so robotics. So we see robotics in many phases of packaging, from depalletizers, case packers, palletizers, pick and place systems. So there's a lot of flexibility built into a robotic solution that we're seeing grow. And then also with smart manufacturing, again, being able to improve your efficiency with data. And so when you do have to adapt that system, where potential issues may arise. You've got data on the way the line runs, and you're able to pay special attention to those areas that may create issues when you go to create new packages. So smart manufacturing allows the client to become more efficient in packaging, have greater visibility into their packaging systems. It also provides predictive maintenance to clients, to where, again, they can maintain their systems so they run longer, better, they don't break down as frequently. The robotics also provides some flexibility with packaging systems. So, with that flexibility, with smart manufacturing layered on top of that, can also provide data into that robotic solution, again, to help maintain that type system, as smart manufacturing would for other types of systems. within packaging. As far as technology goes, again, I think robotics is a huge area that's growing. I think companies, manufacturers are looking at ways to reduce human-to-human interaction. Again, not necessarily eliminating an operator or person, but being able to reassign that person, and also trying to maintain CDC guidelines with social distancing. And robots are a very good way to do that in a lot of applications. They don't work for everything, but in a lot of applications, they're a good solution to allow people to be socially distant. You know, if you've got a cobot that can work right next to a human versus 2 or 3 people working closely together, that eliminates that human-to-human contact. And then also, robots don't get sick, so even if there is a spike in the pandemic, they still report to work and can still work. So that's another benefit of robotics, being implemented in packaging and just general plant operations. Moving pallets from one area to another. A lot of times, you'll have operators doing that all day, and they're going from department to department to department all over the plant. Now you can have a robot do that and do it very well. So I think robotics is really an area that's going to, a technology that's going to be growing a lot of because of the pandemic, and has forced manufacturers to consider ways to implement robots.
So some of the trends that we're seeing this year is really an advancement in use of robotic arms and artificial intelligence and sortation methods. So a lot of the equipment vendors are offering up some pretty amazing technology with robotic arms, camera systems, and artificial intelligence. And an example of that is you may have a bin that has a variety of products dumped into it, right? Those could range from anything from plastic bottles to a package of t-shirts. And with one fixture of a robotic arm and a camera, it's able to view that product and understand how far the robotic arms need to close, pick it up, what weight is it. It's able to calculate all of those things and pick the product up and sort it. A lot of that used to be done by humans, but we're really seeing a lot of movement towards artificial intelligence, again, in use with robotic arms to really improve sortation methods. So you're able to get a variety of products into one central location and then sort it based upon the need for it to either reside in this bin or down this conveyor lane. So that's really some of the big trends we're seeing this year. Some of the other trends we're seeing is personalized packaging, right? So that's had a big impact for our clients, right? So whether that's packages that are ready to hit the store shelves, it has just changed the look and feel of packages, which we're seeing in manufacturing, right? So you can imagine if you were to walk in an end cap in your local store and see a cardboard box, it's probably not going to move you, right? But what we are seeing is unique packaging to really draw the customer in, and that's done with a variety of new packaging materials. Some of the other trends we're seeing this year is consumers are really taking a closer look at what is in the product and the materials in which it's packaged in, right? So there's a lot of environmental concerns, and so consumers are really taking a closer look. There's information, whether it be in barcodes or scan codes, that is able to provide the consumer with much more information than maybe in the past. And so those are some of the trends we're seeing in this year.
Project management has always been the cornerstone to success. Whether replacing an obsolete PLC or executing a full turnkey system of a packaging line, project management is fundamental to all engagements. More and more manufacturers are seeking program management of common projects across multiple plants to ensure consistency of design, execution, checkout, and training to realize a decrease in cost over the life cycle of the program. In today's environment, we are seeing the need for more turnkey variations as manufacturers struggle with internal resources to effectively manage production and projects at the same time. We see turnkey, program, and project management as an integral part of an effective manufacturing strategy.
There are a lot of trends in the industry. There's a lot of noise in the marketplace. Technology changes. It's not slowing down, it's only getting faster. The more time goes by, the faster the rate of change seems to be. Some of our clients, they really only execute capital projects infrequently, so they don't have the necessary experience in-house. They may not be aware of new developments in the industry because they're focused on their own business. We also have customers that have reduced client staff levels due to downsizing or other reasons. And so there's very few people within the customer organization that can manage a capital project efficiently, given the other demands on their time. So they might have a client capital manager whose job is really to go out and procure expertise from companies like ours. Polytron is well positioned to help you achieve success in all of these areas. These items tend to be very technically focused, but you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your investment dollars. So once again, project management is key to making sure that these types of investments are not wasted. The Polytron project manager can help you establish the specific requirements that you're looking for, and then help you develop a roadmap to get you there. Our focus would be on ensuring the project's success by managing risks and holding the team accountable for their individual parts so that the overall project is a success.
Manufacturers responded to unexpected market conditions with resilience. We proved it is possible to respond quickly to situations impacting our workforce, infrastructure, and production to meet high demands. We have all pivoted to support the economy and the population. The lessons that we have learned are setting the trajectory of our future. These trends will continue to impact our workplace and the application of technology in our industries for years to come, making our industries more resilient than ever.